Back to life, back to reality, back to life, back to reality, back to life, back to reality, back to the here and now, yeah.
The Esoteric Order of Roleplayers present The Demon's Mirror, a Hunter's Hunted duet chronicle featuring David Larkins and Desiree Valdez. We're back.
Yes.
So this is first proper episode. It's a new
Right, we
chronicle.
did the prelude last time.
And I don't know. Any preparatory, preliminary, prefatory remarks?
No, I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I got nothing. I'm just ready to play this because I'm very curious how this will go.
All right. You were saying that you were thinking,
Well, where we last left Amy
where we last left Amy, yes.
was,
So you want to just pick it up right there?
why not?
Okay.
Unless you had something else in mind.
No, that sounds good to
Okay.
me.
All right, so we last left Amy standing on the sidewalk. Or no, she pulled away.
Pulled away.
She was driving back home. I'm thinking she was going back home.
Yeah.
After investigating Dawn's apartment that had been a crime scene and had just done that. You did this nice little,
I tried to do some narrative resonance.
but there is narrative residence. I'm back, baby.
Yes, you are.
There is resonance, and I'll tell you why. Because so Amy got that bag that had the satchel that had the camera and film in it, and Amy wants to get that developed.
Right.
So I was thinking about things because I'm obsessed with this game, and I find it very interesting that same Monday night, or going into Tuesday morning, was when Aaron went to the drugstore, that famous Caribbean Queen sequence.
Yes, famous. Known the world over. Yes.
Known in my mind. But anyway, so he was getting his pictures developed from his fun saver. But so I find it interesting that the same night Amy is getting her film developed from Dawn's camera.
Yeah.
So I would say, what time is it?
I think it was, well, we probably did have a specific time, but it's evening.
It is evening. It's
after
not
dark.
that late.
No.
So I think she'd head back to Pasadena, and she would go to a drugstore, like Thrifty Drug or Save On,
Thrifty.
and they would have their 1 hour photo.
Yep.
And so she said, so she goes to Save On, and at the photo area or booth or whatever, and she takes the film out of the so she's not a photographer. So she brings the camera to the photo booth.
Photo counter.
Thank you, photo counter. When we're recording, I swear, it's like I lose, I can't talk very well. It's very odd. Anyway, so she brings it to the photo counter, and so is there a clerk there?
Of course.
Okay. So, hi. I need these photos developed, but I'm afraid to ruin the film. And the film was also exposed to some heat, so I'm not sure if they'll come out, but I wanted to see if you could help me.
Yeah, no problem.
Who's this clerk?
Oh, just oily. He's wearing a white coat,
All right.
So
Okay.
he says, just hand me your camera, I'll take it back.
Okay.
Get the film out and return it.
All right. How long will it take?
1 hour.
All right. I'll be back. So Amy's just going to hang out in the drugstore.
All right. Well, he gives you your camera back first. And
I take it and put it back in the bag. And so I just start walking around and I'm just thinking about... I take the picture that I nabbed from Dawn's apartment and I look at it, put it back in my pocket, and just start trying to figure out, what did I see? I could have sworn I saw... It couldn't be real. This odd man who looked like a mummy and who was like... I don't know, like he just, but then he changed, his whole face changed into looking like a normal person. Then when I tried to like run down to meet where he was not there. And it's like he vanished.
Right.
There's something unsettling about that. Just, what?
I cue up the music. It's on the PA.
Oh, man.
All right. Go on.
Okay, so I'm walking through the drugstore thinking about this, and okay, so who's this guy, like, and why was he coming? It seemed like he was coming back to the apartment.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the photo clerk. I'm like, why are you obsessed with him?
No, I'm talking about the mysterious...
Who is this guy at the photo desk?
No, the mysterious person who was in the hall.
Man in the trench coat.
Who seemed to be coming back to Dawn's apartment.
Yes. He definitely had the body language of someone who's,
familiar?
Well, no, I was going to say someone who is...
Sorry.
Yeah, who's running this game anyway?
I don't know anymore.
You get a little taste of the glory suddenly. Oh.
No, I've been like this the whole time.
That's true, actually. We should just be playing the Apocalypse World version of conversion of this.
What do you mean?
Because then you'd have all the player, all this co-storyteller agency.
But I think I have plenty of that.
I know, I'm just teasing you.
All right. Well, you give it to me, so.
Okay. So anyway, so basically, he had the body language of someone who is walking into a space, not expecting someone to be there, and being sort of like,
oh shit,
caught
like
flat-footed and a little guilty,
and then hesitating, like, what do I do?
A guilty hesitation,
Weird, because he doesn't
like,
know who
like if you were walking, if you went and got a midnight snack and you're like walking into the dining room to enjoy it, and then like someone else from your family is sitting in there, you're like, oh hi, well, I guess you caught me, I'm having a midnight snack, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm sort of surprised you're here, and now you've potentially stumbled onto my secret.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow, what an obvious. What an obvious person.
Yeah, well, he was caught off guard. So that is often when we reveal ourselves.
Plus, he did reveal himself, because then his face changed, remember? Like, okay. So Amy's thinking about that. She's thinking about who did this to Dawn. Like, something happened. Like, what happened to her? And just who was she hanging out with? Like, she was hanging out with me, like, all the time.
Right. So
this is weird. Like, as far as I know, she didn't know anybody out here. She knew me. I'm sure she had, other friends. Mm-hmm. People in her acting class. She had other classes and other guy, and the guy who handed me the paper, I mean, he knew her, and oh man, okay, so I'm thinking about this and wondering, like, I'm suspicious of every single person that was in her class. So she gave me her class schedule. I wrote it down in my notebook. Okay. Of course. Mm-hmm. So I think what I can do to just scope some fuckers out is to go to her classes and mine and just see who's around or not around, and try to see if there's anything suspicious there. 'Cause I need to find out what happened to her. This is completely unbelievable. And Uncle Todd said that she was drained of blood, and I don't know. I can't even fathom what that means, but I want to figure it out. So I'm thinking this. I'm like, okay, so it's Monday night.
Yes, it is.
And
Monday the 18th?
Yep.
No, the 19th.
19th. And
Marked up this calendar too much.
We'll just say that the timeline is there's other things happening in this wide world in the same
Yes.
in Southern California at this time.
Yes, there are a million stories.
There are a million stories in this dark city.
Dark City.
No, no, not that. That's the worst.
Oh.
That's the absolute worst.
Oh.
But anyway, so it's just one of the many stories.
Uh-huh.
So then Amy starts thinking, like, I wonder if she's gonna have a funeral. I have to go to it. It's just making me nauseous to think about. So, okay, so the goal for this week is to... So for Hunters Hunted, I don't have to set up goals and...
Oh, no,
Like
I mean, it's
objectives?
still... yeah. No, it still works the same way. It's still the same experience system.
Okay, so...
Yeah, why don't you brainstorm some goals?
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so wait, so this is one story. This is story one.
This is story 1.
Okay.
Chapter 1, story 1.
Act 1.
Act 1.
Hunters Hunted. What does it mean when...
What does it mean when an apex predator becomes the prey?
Yeah, go on. Story 1. Okay. So, ooh, that was a barking...
That's a little barking ghoul dog.
Yep.
Hellhound.
Okay, so my goals.
Yes.
Goals are...
Well, I don't know.
So how many chapters are in each story? 3?
We're gonna do 3.
Before we're gonna do 3
we're gonna do a
each?
triad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, okay, a trilogy.
Uh-huh.
For one chronicle. So they're called chronicles too?
Chronicle. Yeah, everything's
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much the same. So.
Okay. This is Chronicle 1. Okay.
The Chronic. Cole 1.
God damn. Do you have a name for story 1 or no? Not yet.
I don't name the stories.
You should.
Well, I don't.
It'd be better that way.
Oh my god.
Okay.
One
So-
other thing to think of. Okay. Great.
You're so good at naming things though. Alright. So story 1 goals are... Well, the overarching goal is to solve Dawn's murder.
Yes, that is the overall.
Solve Dawn's murder. So that's gonna be the top goal of every story. If I don't solve it,
Until such time
if I don't
as it
solve it
is.
today,
Yeah.
instantly.
Right.
So
Someone walks into the save on. I murdered Don Barber.
Dawn's murder. Solve Dawn's murder. Revenge. Avenge Dawn's death.
Solve. Oh, okay. Avenge Don.
So there are these two things. So
There.
I can solve the murder, but I also have to avenge her.
Sure.
Avenge Dawn. Oh my god. Wow, this is very poignant. Avenge Dawn's death. Get those scroll, like, understand what the scrolls are. Mm-hmm. Understand scrolls. Is Dawn in charge of this playlist? Like, in the save on? She's just like, I need to send as many clues to Amy as possible.
Yeah.
Understand scrolls. And then, what's another thing? God, there was one recording where I was obsessed with your mouth sounds. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and you kept correcting me.
That was annoying.
You correcting me?
Yeah, I again apologize. I don't know. I got really. They were bothering me a lot. I don't know why. And then at the very end of that recording, I made a whole bunch of mouth sounds. I'm a fool.
Am I making mouth sounds right now?
No, I just
okay.
made one, and I'm a fool.
Oh, okay.
I'm a fool.
All right.
So I've solved Dawn's murder,
Yeah.
avenged Dawn's death, understand scrolls.
Okay.
The mirror. I want to understand the mirror too.
Understand scrolls and mirror.
Find out more about mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that can't be separate.
I guess it could be separate.
About mirror.
I guess.
Just died in your arms tonight. Okay. I think those are good goals for story 1.
Okay.
Of course, I can modify them as I see fit. Mm-hmm. But that's must have been some kind of kiss. All right. So.
Should have walked away.
Damn. Okay. So Amy is looking around. So then she's thinking like. So then her mind kind of goes to the mundane like. Do I need anything here?
Right.
I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's gonna go to the counter and just kind of hang out.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, the dude just hangs out in the back, basically. Uh-huh. So kind of have more or less to yourself, and occasionally see someone wandering by. Uh-huh. But eventually, he comes back up, and he's got his little fat envelope full of photos.
Oh, but they're probably all black. Like they're probably all white, and they're probably all like they don't. So I'm being realistic. I'm trying to like maintain my composure. Like they're probably all blank.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me a couple times. Like half of them are blank. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you giving me this wasted photo paper? Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I pay.
Just print what's on the bill.
Exactly. So I thank you. I give them the money, do the transaction, and thanks.
Okay.
So I go. I'm like, oh, it's suspense. So I go to my car.
All right.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I go to my car and I get in my Rabbit. Mm-hmm. I turn. No, I want to be at home by myself. So I'm gonna drive home.
Remarkable self-control. What's your self-control rating? Just out of curiosity.
3.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm. It's really hard for me to not like crack them open. I mean, I can be impulsive and kind of like, but this feels like a little bit more like. I want good light. I want to be able to see what this is. Mm-hmm. If there's anything. Plus, it's like my last connection to her.
Yeah.
So I head home.
Okay.
I go home.
Yep.
I check the driveway. Who's home?
This time of night, everybody.
Everybody's home. Okay. So I get home.
Yep.
And I talked to my mom earlier, so she knew that, she knew I was distraught.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dad doesn't know. And God only knows what Ken is doing right now. So it's my little brother. Little bro. And, okay. So I park my car, head into the house.
Okay. So.
Who's around?
Well, everyone's kind of in their appointed areas, So, like, Ken's in his room. Mm-hmm. Your dad's watching TV. Mm-hmm. Your mom's reading a book in the parlor, living room area.
So I'll just see how she's doing. Mm-hmm. We're still thinking about Gigi. Even though it was a couple months, but I kind of got into a habit of, like, going and talking with her and seeing how she is. So.
Okay. Yep. So
hey, Mom.
Hey.
What are you reading?
Oh, just this kind of stupid book.
What is it?
I don't think The Bridges of Madison County is out yet, but something equivalent to that.
Oh. All right. Well.
It's not very good. I don't think I'm going to finish it.
Yeah, so anyway.
How are you?
Not good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, Dawn was my best friend. I start crying.
Yeah. Okay, so she gets up and sets down her Dean Koontz novel, The Bad Place.
Oh wow,
is what it's called.
Nice. Okay.
For some reason, the week of March 4th, the number one best-selling book was "Oh, the Places You'll Go" by Dr. Seuss.
So Amy's crying.
Okay.
Amy's crying.
Anyway.
And was that like right after his death that people were like, or it was maybe a posthumous publication, and so people were winking themselves over it?
He died in 91.
So it was like one of his last books that he published.
Was it?
I think it was. If he died in 91, this is 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was published that late in his career.
Yeah. So that's why.
Huh.
Okay, so we were scoffing and being kind of rude, but all right, it was one of the last books that he was probably, he probably wrote it for himself. Anyway.
Oh, the Places You'll Go.
What?
You know what? Actually, I'm going to retcon. It's not
Dean
The Bad
Koontz.
Place by Dean Koontz.
Is it the Watchers?
Ooh, I'm so torn though between these other two choices.
Do a dice roll.
All right.
Roll it up. Even, odd.
Even, odd. All right. Okay, she's reading Daddy by Danielle Steele.
She would. Oh, my mom. All right. So.
The other choice was The Dark Half by Stephen King.
Just shows her priorities.
That's right.
So anyway. God. All right. So she's consoling me.
Yes, she is.
So I'm crying. I'm like, I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. She's gone.
And she's just kind of like, she's not full on hugging you because she's never really been comfortable with like really overt displays of affection, you know.
Yeah.
But she's she's kind of got one arm on your shoulder and the other arm's kind of rubbing your back.
Okay.
You know.
All
so
right.
it's you know.
Yeah, she's trying to be there for me.
Yeah.
As much as she can.
Exactly.
So I'm upset. So I just dry my eyes and
yes.
yeah, I dry my eyes and I'm just gonna go up to my room.
Okay. All right. Well, you are all alone in your room, so
I'm breaking open those pictures. Yeah.
okay. Muy bueno.
Okay, open the folder.
All right. So the thing you notice.
Folder, the envelope. The envelope.
Yes. So you are. Let's see. I'm trying to remember if the newest photos were on top.
Yeah.
So it's the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing you notice then, opening the envelope, is that this was black and white film.
Really?
Yes.
It was in color?
Nope.
I guess she was trying to be artsy.
Yep.
Huh. That's weird. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm looking at the photo. They turned out.
Well, the topmost one did.
Okay.
For sure.
So, oops, sorry. So I'm...
So, and yeah, it does seem to be some experiment with, photographic techniques. Cause like it's a black and white film and it's a shot of like, a bare tree, it being wintertime and all, a leafless tree with the sun shining through the branches.
Okay, so she had taken a photo class last semester. Mm-hmm. So I think she said she didn't really like it that much, but I don't know, I guess she found it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's, or else the film is from last semester,
maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, all right.
Film rolls can sit in cameras for a long time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's what you see.
All right, so keep looking through them.
All right, so you start flicking through the pile. More
Like
attempts
trees,
at still lifes,
nature,
landscapes. Okay. Some successful, some not so much. Mm-hmm. Playing around with exposure times. And then about a third of the way in, you get your first non-artsy photo, which is just a photo of you, actually. Oh. Mm-hmm.
What face am I making? Like
you're kind of like in the middle of a laugh. You're just during one of your on-campus breaks that you guys would take together.
Right.
So you recognize the spot.
So my heart stops. Like, oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, keep looking.
Yep, and then some more still lifes and nature shots, and then
things on campus, probably.
Things on campus, things from what you're assuming. Like there's a shot that you recognize as the windowsill from her apartment where she is lined up, like a glass vase and some other objects to catch the light, And then there's some shots from your Tahoe trip.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The snow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It snowed up there, so we didn't go swimming in the lake.
No, you didn't go swimming in the lake, but there were some shots of the lake. We
went ice skating.
Okay.
Yeah, we did some snowshoeing.
Snowshoeing, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. So there's just snow and
Mountains.
ice, mountains, lake. Okay.
Shot of an icicle. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like there's about 8 photos left in the roll. And so these are the most recent, of course.
Yeah.
And so there's you know, a shot of like a rehearsal stage or a rehearsal space, you know, and there's some people up on the stage and they're in the midst of
A scene.
of doing something.
Yeah.
Someone's gesticulating, you know. So presumably this is her theater class.
Yeah.
And then there's, you know, like a couple shots of a few people in the theater class, you know. And then there's like a couple shots of just one person who you've recognized from the earlier shots.
Oh.
You know, like he was always in these shots.
Okay.
And these are obviously on different days too.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just this one guy, and you know he's kind of handsome in a wholesome boy next door kind of you know way.
What's he wearing?
Like a black leather jacket,
Black t-shirt.
black t-shirt, and
Black jeans.
yeah, and he's, you know, pontificating about something or other.
Yeah.
You know, these all these shots are obviously from
Just
the night,
candids.
from the night class.
Yeah. So like candids of other people talking, interacting.
Exactly.
Okay.
But they've sort of moved from being group shots to just being
him.
this dude. And you know, he's blonde with sort of a curly mop. And then yeah, like the last 3
Has
shots.
a pair of black sunglasses.
Of course.
Yeah.
The
Like
the
on
last
his shirt collar.
The last 3 shots though are all you know, basically no good. They're either they were not taken correctly or it was from the heat damage, but they're just like kind of a light gray wash, you know. Very pretty much just monochromatic.
All right, so that's upset. That is like disturbing to me. All right. So I'm thinking this guy, that must be Aaron. All right. So I'm going to look at my notebook that has her classes in it. I'm going to strategize and see which classes I can go to and which ones, you know, because we went to some of the same classes together. I don't think it's, I don't know. I have no idea. She didn't talk about anybody in the class we were taking together this semester, like in particular. But I'm going to plot out my week so that I can go to the classes and see who's there.
Okay. All right.
So that should be somewhat productive because I'll be going to I have classes
Yes.
every day except Friday.
Right. And
So I'll be able to go to her Wednesday classes.
okay. All right.
Actually, no. At that point, it's still probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I just know. I'm just thinking about how classes kept getting scaled back when I was in community college.
Oh, really?
So it went from Monday, Wednesday, Fridays to Mondays and Wednesdays.
Oh, really?
And then they would increase the hours that you were there on the Mondays and Wednesdays.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
anyway, it was a mess. So, okay. So I plot out my week, and I'm just looking at the picture. I just looked through all the pictures again, and I put up the ones that are like from Tahoe, from her apartment, and I keep the ones that are of this guy. Keep them in the front part of them. The other ones, I just am like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll frame some of those other ones, but I'm going to keep the other ones like kind of on my desk, but I'm going to put those with that guy in them in the front of the envelope and just kind of put it in one of my drawers.
Right.
And so I'm going to try to, so I'm going to, I have the scrolls, right? Oh no, the scrolls are being translated.
I thought they had been translated.
Oh, they had been?
Yes.
They gave me the translation?
Okay. You already got that.
So I'm going to look at the translation. I'm going to, actually what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to take the tape that Dawn made for me. I'm going to put it in the player. and hit play
Okay.
and start listening
Okay.
to the mix she made me.
Oh, sure. No problemo. Again, dogs going crazy in the neighborhood.
Yep, that's all we need to know.
That's about, but here we are. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you get the cassette and
I'm playing it.
plop it in. And here you go. All right.
Okay.
And you're flipping through this translation.
Yeah, so I'm
document that
looking
you're
at
doing.
this. And so there's all this discussion about the Shen. Mm-hmm. And this is all Chinese.
Yeah.
So I'm only one man and there are many Shen. Then you must find other men of virtue to aid you if you seek to bring down the Shen. So who are the Shen? So I'm looking at these and trying to figure out, like, what does this mean? And again, this is like triggering up a lot of memories that I have of Gigi telling me stories. So it seems familiar, but she mostly told them in Japanese, so it feels like I'm trying to have it sync up together.
Sure.
Their bodies were toughened through practice and used to build anew temples, while their minds were sharpened with riddles and their senses were trained to see past the trickery of the Shen. So the Shen do tricks, or they have...
They do close-up magic.
That's disturbing. Okay, so Amy is just looking through all this, and she's starting to get tired. It's like the whole day's catching up to her.
Yeah.
So she kind of just lets the tape play and just kind of drifts off to sleep
Yeah.
with the scroll like on her bed with her.
Okay.
She's just trying to, think about what this means and what is it? What is this? So anyway.
Okay. So yeah, you drift off to sleep without even realizing it. And as you sleep, as you slumber,
Do I dream?
you dream.
Of what?
Well, you have a dream, and it's somewhat unnerving, actually.
Oh no! So it's a
So
nightmare.
you might even call it a nightmare.
Yeah,
Yes.
great, good, wonderful. So this is Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically, in this dream, you are in basically a mansion. But it's very specific. It's not like like a lot of times in dreams, if you're in a location,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
place
fuzzy.
that's or it's a conglomerate of actual
Right.
places that you've experienced.
But this is like completely unfamiliar, but incredibly specific.
exactly
Okay. All right.
And so you're in this, and it's definitely like an old mansion, has that air of neglect and mustiness about it.
So it's not currently occupied.
Probably not.
Okay. So it looks like an old house that's been abandoned.
Probably, yeah.
But it's a mansion.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Because you're standing in this like massive 2-story high hall, basically.
Right. Right. Okay.
There's some doors behind you and a little colonnade ahead of you, and then this sort of sweeping L-shaped staircase going up to your left. And a balcony looking down from above the colonnade into the hall. And it's just very eerily quiet, But then you can hear out of the darkness and out of the quietude, you hear somebody screaming in pain.
Oh, I'm gonna go to the sound.
Okay. It's kind of like not localized. Like there's not a.
It doesn't seem like there's a definite source or space
Right.
where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's just
all over the place.
It's just like a distant sound of.
So I'm going to try to get outside of
screaming.
the house so I can see the outside of the house.
All right. So you turn around and the double doors, like one of them is ajar, like about 2 feet.
Okay.
And it's just like absolute pitch blackness on the
Outside.
other side.
That's scary.
Yeah. It's dark in the house too, but it's not like pitch black. You can kind of see.
I look down at the ground to see if there's a place to step outside of the house.
Well, as you're walking towards the door and noting that one is ajar, you just sense that there's some evil presence rushing towards the door.
I'm going to close the door
Okay.
as quickly as I can.
So you jump forward and basically you slam the door, but as you're slamming it, you feel something hit the other side of the door. Like it got to the doorway right as you did.
Just as I was pulling
And then you wake up.
the door closed. Oh,
And your heart is like pounding.
racing.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's, 4 a.m.
Oh, God.
The cassette clicked off, hours ago.
Yeah.
And you're just in your dark, quiet room. Actually, a light's probably still
light's on, yeah.
So the light's still on.
So I'm just like, oh.
But it's absolutely still,
It's quiet.
The world is asleep.
Yeah. There's some other shit going on. The other side of town. A shit show. All right. The house isn't familiar to me.
No.
All right, so I'm going to write down the dream in my journal.
Okay.
So I have a journal. I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
Because that's what Gigi told me. She's like, when you're having dreams, here's a notebook. Write down what happens right after you wake up. So she started me doing this when I was like 10. So I started writing down and it was just, I'm like, this is so dumb. I was petting a dog and the dog licked my hand,
Right.
So I'd get down all the details.
Right.
So I'm going to start writing.
Okay. All right. So you scribe the details of the dream in your dream journal.
Right.
All right. And then get out your dream interpretation handbook and discover that you will be getting audited for taxes this year.
What?
You should prepare for that. All right.
Okay.
So what's once you get back to sleep, which eventually you do, next day comes about, you've probably got work, I would think.
No, I mean, I looked at my schedule and I do have like a night. I work at night. Like I work a lot of evening shifts because I don't have a lot of night classes. So Wednesday's going to be tough because I usually work Wednesday night, but that's when Dawn's acting class is. And so as Amy, I will call out sick that day.
Okay.
So on Tuesday, it's just the usual schedule of classes.
Yeah.
And thankfully Dawn's fit pretty nicely with mine. So I'll go and it'll be like in between. So I'm just kind of like just hanging out there. So I'm scoping things out, like looking at people, seeing who's absent, who's here, who isn't. See if anyone looks suspicious.
All right. Why don't you make an intelligence plus investigation roll, difficulty 6.
Okay. 2, 4. I'm a wee character. Difficulty 4?
6.
Yeah, let's try to catch these. Oh, why do I have a... Okay, that shouldn't be there.
What is that? A percentile die? A tens die,
nice.
if you will.
2 successes.
Okay.
What
Very
is
good.
that doing there?
I don't know, man. Terrible. Just terrible.
It's bad.
All right. So basically you keep a weather eye out, as they say.
Yep.
And basically nothing seems awry. Nothing seems out of the ordinary in any of the classes that you attend.
So no one looks particularly suspicious.
No one looks haggard or sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Nobody's absent.
No one looks guilty.
Nobody's looking shifty.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Does anyone say anything in like any of her
Yes.
classes?
Oh, yes.
Oh shit.
Absolutely.
So almost every class I have to sit through people being like, Dawn is dead, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
classmate's dead. Or whatever.
Exactly. And I think this is even before schools would just, as a matter of course, offer grief counseling. So
Yeah, no. So
it was
people-
just kind of like, yeah, you know.
So when that announcement is made,
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at these people like,
Yeah. Everyone looks suitably grave, sad, you know.
or just neutral.
Or
like,
neutral.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So in between classes, I have my little Walkman. So I'm listening to the mix that Amy made for
Walkman?
me. Amy, why do I keep mixing up their names?
Oh, funny. Dawn.
Dawn made for me.
Uh-huh.
And because I'm looking at the cassette and it says Amy's mix. Sorry. So
I see.
I'm listening to that in between classes.
All right.
So Tuesday goes by. I check out all the classes. There's nothing going on.
No.
All right, so I'm gonna go look in. I'm gonna get a newspaper. Okay, so when I go to work, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna get all the newspapers.
Right.
So I got LA.
From the extensive periodical section.
Yes. So I'm just LA Times really. Daily News.
Daily News.
LA Times.
Local
Does
papers.
Pasadena have a
I think
paper?
there is a Pasadena paper, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna look at all the papers. So while I'm up
Or
at
at
the
least a like a San Gabriel Valley
yeah
type
yeah
paper.
yeah. So I'm gonna look through all these different papers and just see if there's any stories, anything weird, anything odd.
Okay. How about another intelligence plus investigation?
Difficulty 6.
Yes.
So that would be 2.
Oh. All right. Well, 2 is fine. Perfectly respectable.
So I'm looking.
So, nothing untoward in the major papers. LA Times, Daily News.
Yeah.
In the Glendale News Press, actually. There's a small but prominent article on the front page, bottom half of the front page, you know. Just saying something about police baffled by string of mysterious disappearances among Glendale homeless community.
In Glendale?
Yes.
That's weird.
And it's just a thing about
People are disappearing?
three sort of local vagrant types have all just gone missing within the last 2 months.
Okay.
So that piques your interest.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm gonna-
mysterious disappearances.
So I'm going to cut that out.
All right.
I have like a little like day planner.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to put
Oh, yeah.
my clippings in there. So I put one clipping in there.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That's it though?
Pretty much slow news day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing about the vines in the paper. No, it's only been a couple days since
It's only been a
they've
couple.
gone
That's what I was
missing.
thinking. Yeah.
And would like would mainstream like
Probably not.
people know?
Probably show up in the Pasadena Star News.
Yeah, but still, like how well known are they like amongst like society?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at
So
all.
no one would know.
Yeah. Eventually, someone will figure out that nobody's living there anymore.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I got through my shift
Yep.
and I head home. It's like 15 minutes away. Go home, go to sleep. I was also looking for an obit for Dawn, but there wasn't one yet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow, probably.
Yeah. So, okay. So I go back to my bedroom. I look at the pictures again. And then I just force myself to go to sleep.
Okay. So the next day is Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be a long day because it's stupid night class. So, but I just gotta, so I go to the different classes and I'm just kind of like, it's like I'm in Dawn's, like I'm doing what she did. And it fills me with a lot of angst, but it's also kind of comforting. Like, so again, all the stupid announcements of her death and...
well, not so much announcements of her death, but...
okay. I'm not running this game, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you're not? Not so much announcements of her death, but one of your teachers comes up to you.
Oh, after class?
After class.
Or before class? Or
No.
After?
At the end of class, he kind of, oh, hey, Amy, I just want a couple words real quick.
Sure. So I go up to him.
So he says, I was really sorry to hear about Dawn. Such a tragedy.
I know.
I took the liberty of making some phone calls, and I guess it'll be in the papers tomorrow, but I just wanted to let you know that she has a memorial service scheduled for tomorrow night at Forest Lawn.
Oh.
And then the interment will be Friday morning.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I was reading the papers yesterday. I didn't see anything, so...
Yeah, she's from out of state, so the parents had to come in, and
yeah.
it's all so sudden, they had to make arrangements last minute.
Right.
So they're just now.
Well, are you going to be there?
I'll be there, absolutely. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So he puts a hand on your shoulder and gives it a squeeze,
Thanks, Mr.
Gallagher.
All right. So, so that's one of our English classes.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, the day goes by in its usual fashion.
I'm going to go home just so I can just kind of decompress. I'll head back there around 7:15 because the class starts at 7:30. And I'm feeling I'm like, why am I so amped up? And I realize because, I'll get to see my rival. So, because he's going to be there.
Right. Naturally.
And I got some
some goddamn questions.
I got some other questions. All right. So
I have muchas preguntas.
what would that be in French? She's not.
Oh yeah.
She's not taking Spanish.
Oh
my God.
Wow. Yeah. I can't think of it.
Muchas preguntas.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway. I don't know why I know that. I took 4 years of French. All right. So.
Okay. So so then I suddenly get super excited. So I want to get there early because I want to talk to her professor and be like, hey, okay, so am I there?
Actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
You always like the actuallys. Back at home, you're just finishing up dinner.
Yeah.
And phone rings. Your dad goes to get it. You hear him pick up the phone. And then, oh, hey, Todd.
Todd. It's Uncle Todd. So I swallow my food and I just chug some water to wash it down. And I go and I walk. I'm just standing there.
Yeah. And then, they're just kind of like, yeah, no, good, yeah. And then he sort of turns around and he goes, actually, she's standing right here.
Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me.
He hands you the phone.
All right, thanks. Get out of here.
Jeez, all right.
So, yeah, what's up?
My birthday was last month.
Is that what Jim says, her dad? Why?
Because it's like you're conspiring to get a present or something.
So I just roll my eyes.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Uncle Todd.
Yeah, hey, Amy. Listen.
Is he covered in blood again? His little scrubs on.
Yeah. You remember, of course, our little meeting.
Yeah.
Well, I've got another thing to share with you.
What is it?
but I don't think it's quite as urgent as last time. Just wanted to see if you could maybe swing by my office tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. What time?
Later in the afternoon.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I guess you can't tell me over the phone.
Not really, no.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But,
all right.
Anyway, I should get back to it. I got a lot to do tonight.
All right. Well.
Another gang shooting. So.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye, Uncle Todd.
Bye.
All right. So I hang up. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I write it. I keep it mental note. Mm-hmm. And all right. So I grab all my stuff.
Okay.
Bye, and I leave. And I head to the college.
Okay.
And I head up to the theater, which is up on a hill.
Yep. You make your way across the...
It's a different parking lot, so I park up there.
Yep.
Get to the... So I'm looking in the parking lot if there's anybody around. Like, am I going to see this fucker?
Yeah, you see a scattering of cars. It's, it's totally different.
Yeah, it's a totally different
campus
feel.
at night.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a scattering of cars.
So I head toward the the theater.
All right. So yeah, it's eerily quiet. So the darkened campus, alleviated by occasional pools of light cast by light poles that are too far apart.
Light poles?
Light poles.
You mean like street lights, kind of?
Well, they're not street lights.
No, they're like lamps.
Light poles that are too far apart.
All right. So I'm walking and keeping my wits about me. And, but I'm kind of looking around like... But there's students, like everybody's going to class.
Oh, there's a few here and there, yeah.
Dude, you're making it sound super smart. Well, in the world of darkness.
That's right.
All right, so I'm making my way.
Okay, so...
So I head into the complex. Like
lamp post. That's what I was looking for.
Light poles. So
LP, it's the same thing.
So I head into this like larger it's a larger building that houses like an auditorium, and then it also has which is like a bigger theater, and then there's like a smaller theater, and I see that's where most of the students are going, into the smaller like black box kind of theater. So I head in.
Yep.
And I go up to the professor.
Okay.
And I say, "Hi, I'm one of Don Barber's friends."
Oh. Yes.
And I just wanted to sit in her class because I know,
Of course, dear.
Okay. So I don't really have to explain anything.
No.
All right. So I go and I sit in the back row. And I'm just watching everybody. And I'm watching that door.
All right.
Like, who's coming in.
Yep. So more people are filtering in, taking their seats in like the first...
And this is the second class since... Well, no, it happened Sunday night.
Yeah, so this is the second class.
So Monday night is...
Yeah.
So the second class since it all happened. Okay.
So
I'm watching the door.
Yep, people are taking their seats, first two rows.
I recognize some of the people from the pictures.
Some of them from the pictures.
But I'm waiting for that guy to walk in.
Don't see any curly mop, though. And then there's a clock on the wall. And it's like
7:30.
7:32, and nobody's come in for the last couple minutes, and then the professor walks in front of the rows of seats and puts his arm up on the stage.
Yeah.
And he says, well, how are we all doing tonight? And there's like kind of some murmurs and mutterings, and he says, I'm sure we're all still reeling from the loss of Miss Barber. Mr. Evans appears not to be with us again tonight. Understandable. I know they were quite close. Is anyone in contact with him? Could anyone give him a call and see how he's doing? No. I think I have his number back in my office. Well, let's crack on, as they say. We were working on a scene from The Lion in Winter last time, so let's keep that going. All right. Yes, everyone. That's right. Take your places. And so,
Yeah. So I'm watching them.
Yeah. So you watch the class, and they're just working through.
I was trying to see the reactions when they were talking about. So nobody has his phone number.
You saw some heads dip, and just body language wise.
Talking about Aaron.
When he was like, does anyone have his contact information? There were like some people like kind of looking around, but like
nobody.
Yeah.
That's weird. I note that down.
Noted.
He's a friendless sort of a person.
That's right. A bit of a drifter, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mysterious. So after the class, wait, is there anything?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So I'm enjoying the scene work. It's fairly entertaining.
Working through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the class, I'm going to go up to the professor.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Thanks for letting me, sit in today."
Of course, my dear.
I know this might sound weird. I was one of Dawn's closest friends, and I know that she was. You mentioned Aaron.
Yes.
And I just was wondering if you could give me his phone number. Because I really think, because I found out some stuff about her funeral, and I think he should know. All
right. This is going to require a manipulation. Manipulation plus, is it empathy or, it's not what it's called. It's with an E. It's under talents.
Expression?
Expression.
I don't have expression.
Oh dear.
Just manipulation.
So when you can roll a talent unskilled, but you lose a die from the dice pool. So it's manipulation minus 1 die.
No. Can I use a willpower?
You can use a willpower.
Willpower automatic success.
Yes.
Okay. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 6.
I make 2 6s.
Whoa, so you got 3
3
successes? Damn. All right, mark off your willpower.
Yeah.
All right. So he says, well, I'm normally not at liberty to hand out personal information, but I am rather worried about Mr. Evans.
Oh, are you?
And at the same time, not relishing the phone call. So if you don't mind.
No, I can definitely call him.
Excellent. Come with me then.
All right, so I follow him.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Oh, my name is Margaret.
Margaret, nice to meet you. I think that rings a bell. I think Don spoke of you often.
So I just smile. Like, I smile a weak smile. That's not true.
Yeah,
he's very
lying.
kind, though. It's like I kind of grip my teeth a little. All right. So, I get the number.
You do. You get the number.
Get Aaron's number. I will get his number eventually. Okay, so I get it, and I go to a payphone on campus.
All right.
What? I get it.
I get it.
Yeah. And I go to a payphone. I plunk some quarters in and I call it.
Okay.
It's an area, it's 310 or is it 818?
Well, I was going to ask, in your capacity as former incarnation of one Aaron Evans, what
current? Are you kidding me?
Oh
This
my
is
God.
I have a battle raging inside me called schizophrenia.
All right, Sybil.
Yeah. So I
Now, technically, multiple personality disorder is not the same as
no,
schizophrenia.
it's not. It's not. For the record, we know so much about that too.
We do. So, what number would Aaron have left?
It's 310. It's
But what number?
It's the beeper number.
It's the beeper number.
Yeah. It's 310.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's
very
310.
good. So you pop a quarter in and you dial the number.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 213. Oh my God. 213.
God, what the hell's wrong with you? All right. So you drop a quarter, you dial a number.
Yeah.
And you get something that you may not even be familiar with. I don't know. Have you ever called a pager number before?
My dad's a lawyer.
Oh, Jesus, right. That's right. Okay.
And Todd has one too.
All right, so you get a pager number.
Oh, so like, that's also shifty.
Yep.
That's not usual. It seems weird.
It's not usual.
For a guy
Doctors, lawyers, and
coroners,
drug dealers.
drug dealers. Yeah, that's what my dad would tell me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because Todd's a doctor, your dad's a lawyer.
Well,
and
yeah. So, Aaron's a drug dealer.
Aaron's a drug dealer. Clearly, it can only be one of three, and two have already been spoken for. So that's how logic works, right?
So I call it, and then I put in the payphone number.
Okay.
And so I hang up, and I'm like, it's just a matter of time.
Meanwhile, Aaron, what's this? Oh, whatever.
I don't know what that number is.
I don't know that number. I'm not calling it.
And yeah, he's because he is. So it's Wednesday night. This was the day after. As far as I know, this was the day after Karen got staked. The night after Karen got staked.
Oh, wow.
He had already buried her.
So he's going through his dark night of the soul right now.
He's finding out. He's trying to find out. He went to go talk to the professor.
Gregory.
He's probably talking to Gregory right now.
Yeah, the great Gregory.
The great Gregory. So, and like Christopher Houghton, like he did his rounds.
Yeah.
So that's what he was doing. So he was probably just getting on with his day. In fact, I could picture it like his pager wasn't even. He didn't have it on him yet, and he was just getting dressed, ready to go out, and then. He didn't even catch it. So Amy's waiting there.
Yeah.
She keeps waiting.
Yeah.
And waiting. And like
what, an hour?
Yeah. I was like, fuck. So I'm going to leave.
Okay.
I'm going to go get something to eat. And go home.
Okay.
Because Thursday's the memorial.
Oh,
God. Okay. So I go through. So at this point, I'm kind of tired of going to like double classes. Kind of just like, I'm tired. I'm feeling bogged down. I'm feeling like I'm dreading tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go to my regular classes.
Okay.
On Thursdays, I usually have like an early afternoon I'm sorry. I have like one afternoon class. So I usually go to the bookstore in the morning.
Okay.
And I do a shift and then I go to class.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And then in the evening, I'm planning on going to the memorial.
Okay.
By myself.
And you've forgotten already?
Yes, obviously.
Uncle Todd.
Oh, Todd. Okay. So after my class, I'm going to go to Todd's office.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm really getting entrenched in like my 20-year-old schedule. Like, what was I doing? Like, going to class, going to work, going to class.
We're establishing the world here.
Okay.
Establishing the universe.
So after my class, which is like my French class, I'm gonna go.
Where you work on how to say many questions.
Many questions in French. I'm gonna head to downtown Los Angeles to Todd's office.
Okay. All right, so you get down there around 4:30. Traffic's not great.
Yeah, but it's not too bad.
No. And arriving there, you
park and
do your thing, get your guest pass, all that good stuff. And no,
what?
That's not it.
What?
I put in many questions into Google Translate.
Why?
And it defaults to Spanish, so it says muchas preguntas.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Yeah. And so I put it to French. This could be correct. I don't know, but it's beaucoup de questions. Beaucoup de questions. Is it really questions? Is it one of those deals where it's like an English word is like super French?
Probably.
It never changed. Came over in 1066 and never changed.
Well, we definitely don't have preguntas as our...
No, we don't.
So I would say, yeah. What's German for question?
Is Frage, I think.
So French, it was a French carryover. Questions. What did people say before questions?
Something Frage related. Frage rock. But,
oh my God.
Yeah, it probably came over because the Normans were always like, I have a question about why you're doing that. Or, I have a question. When are you going to pay me the taxes that you owe me?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. All right, so I'm in Todd's office.
Okay, so anyway.
Beaucoup questions.
Beaucoup de questions.
De questions.
a bunch of questions, basically. Yeah, that's funny. All right, anyway. Oh, language. All right, so Todd is there with his sort of lanky skeletal frame and his bulging eyes, and
mustache,
his little mustache, and his pale skin. And
I gave him a hug.
Yep. And
What do you got for me?
Well, okay, so
I sit down.
I don't know. I mean,
Come on.
it's kind of related to your friend Dawn,
Yeah.
which is why I called you in.
Okay.
And I'm not entirely sure why I'm telling you this.
Well, you said that last time, and
I know.
you said this because Gigi told you to tell me.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to get into that too much, you know. I mean,
Well, you knew her.
you
cared about her.
It's so LA though, you know, like, ooh, I'm picking this up on another spiritual wavelength.
Well,
or
I know
something.
you're a science guy. You're a doctor. You never really talk about that kind of stuff, and you're always debunking things. And every time I would tell you something that Gigi would say, you'd be like, well, technically, there's a logical explanation for that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm
So-
sure there's a logical explanation for this as well.
All right, so what is it? Just tell me what it is.
All right. Well, we got a guy in on Tuesday, and he's actually the latest in. Well, he's a link to a series of disappearances in Glendale.
Homeless people?
Yeah. Oh, you saw that.
I read about it.
Yeah. I knew it was getting a little bit of press.
Yeah.
What the press doesn't know is that we've got a body now. Oh. He was found naked and pretty beat up.
Oh,
Looked like he'd been tortured, actually.
that's horrible.
Yeah. Probably escaped from somewhere.
Like what? What do you mean escaped from somewhere?
Well, I mean, you know, sometimes you're too young to remember John Wayne Gacy, but you know, some of these guys they'll kidnap people and then hold them in a basement or a room somewhere, and you know, do their stuff over a prolonged period of time.
Okay.
Anyway,
Right.
what
So you're thinking he escaped from somebody's basement? Well, we don't have basements here.
yeah, well, a room, something.
All right.
What caught my eye, though, and the reason why I called you in, is that he died from the same cause as Dawn.
What?
There was no blood in his body.
What is that like when you open a body and there's no blood in it?
Clean.
Good one, Uncle Todd.
You know, we need the gallows humor around here.
But that must be really odd.
It is.
Well, because all the blood, like you told me, all the blood pools in the back.
Yeah.
So even when you cut it open, it's still not like as though blood's spurting
it's
out.
not like, no, there's no
but
blood
still,
pressure.
like you just keep going and there's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there to speak of, no.
But the organs are like nothing's.
No, it's all gone. It's all out. It's like not even a drop left. So,
Did he have any other wounds or injuries or
just
slashes or cuts? Or,
Yeah, he did.
What did he have?
Well, like I said, it looked like the poor guy had been tortured for a bit. Some puncture wounds,
maybe they
dislocation of one of his shoulders.
Oh.
You know.
Maybe they just bled him like.
None of the wounds were big enough that nothing came close to any major veins or arteries, and
Weird.
nothing was really deep enough, you know, to
Okay.
to
Well,
explain that level of bleeding.
that's so weird.
Because there wasn't even blood in his liver, for God's sake. There wasn't blood in any of the organs. Everything was just pulled out.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So I don't know of what
thanks
use
for
that is
telling
to
me
you,
that. I
but
don't know.
like I say, I felt the need to tell you.
All right.
I tried to resist it, which is why I didn't call you until yesterday, but
You found him yesterday?
no, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That was like a day after dawn, or 2 days after dawn.
Yeah, I know.
But maybe it had happened the next day.
He'd been dead for about 12 hours when he came in.
All right. Well, thanks for telling me. I'll
Yeah.
just kind of keep a mental note. Mm-hmm. I wonder what happened to those other guys or people. They're
Well-
men? Are they all homeless men?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think one of them, one of them's a man, but not homeless. He's just one of those One of those like punk kids, you know, just kind
Like a
of.
gutter punk?
Yeah. Oh, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, gutter punk. Went by the name of Dasher, I think. That is a deep cut callback.
That is a very deep cut. Dasher. Where did you find... Oh, that's who disappeared?
That's one of the disappeared, yeah.
Where did you find this guy? Where was he found?
He was in Glendale.
You said he escaped from somewhere?
Yeah, they found him in an irrigation, or not irrigate, a drainage canal.
Like he was left there? Or maybe he just...
Might have been dumped there. Might have. Well, he couldn't have gotten far without any blood in his system, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
All right. Well, thanks for telling me, I guess. There's one thing more to add to my nightmare list. Thanks, Uncle Todd.
Hey, you know, I'm always good for that.
That's true. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go to Dawn's memorial tonight, and she's getting buried tomorrow, so.
All right.
I'm going to go.
Is there anything I can do for you?
No, just keep being you.
All right.
All right. See you later.
See you later.
All right. So Amy heads out, goes back to her car, and heads back to Pasadena. Gets ready, has dinner, gets ready to go to the memorial.
Okay.
So she's still kind of like, just, it's like she's in shock. Like, she can't believe that this is what's happening. So they have two different phone lines in the house.
Okay.
So she's going to go into her dad's study. She's going to call that pager number again.
All right. Study smells of leather and end dust.
Nice. So she's going to call the pager again, puts in her dad's study number,
Okay.
and waits. And waits. And wait, there's nothing. Fuck. I gotta go. So she leaves.
All right.
So she drives to Forest Lawn.
What does Amy wear to a memorial service?
Well, she has, I mean, since she had Gigi's funeral and everything,
True.
she has a black dress.
Okay.
So it's just like a black dress, like a shift. Not a shift, sorry. Like a little black dress with little cap sleeves. And she's wearing like a dark blue sweater over it.
Okay.
She has her Doc Martens on.
Nice.
With the dress. And black socks. She has sunglasses.
All right.
And her hair, again, is just doing whatever. So she goes.
Okay. So,
And she has like a shoulder bag, you know, that she has.
all right. So, yeah, you get there.
Forest Lawn.
Forest Lawn.
The chapel.
Chapel.
So I walk in.
So you see...
There's a guest book.
There's a guest book. You sign it.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me. You sign the guest book and head on in. Where do you want to sit?
Toward the middle of the section. Middle.
You see the prof from...
And other classmates, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually...
There's
you
a lot
see-
of people there.
Yeah, you see her acting professor, and then you also see, Professor Gallagher.
So honestly, I don't really see those things first.
Okay.
The first thing I see is the coffin.
Well, of course. I was just...
And I'm kind of transfixed by it.
Sure.
And I don't want to look. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to look. So I'm trying to avoid it, and I'm just looking at the ground. And I'm trying to look at everything but the coffin.
All right.
As I'm walking in.
So you're seeing all the people in the audience.
Yeah, but my feet, I can feel everything at the bottom of my feet curling up. Like, just, it's like when I see roadkill. Like I can feel it in my feet, and it just goes all the way up my body. Uncomfortable. It just feels wrong. There's a picture of Dawn. And I look, and I'm seeing all these different people. All these different people there. The front is, I'm assuming, her parents.
Yep.
So again, I'm looking at everything but the coffin.
Yep.
Because it's open. So I see the podium, the flowers. There's music playing softly in the background. And so I'm just looking at everybody. So you said I was seeing like classmates, the professor, other teachers. Mr. Gallagher is there, the English teacher. And there's other people there too. So I'm looking around the whole chapel.
So there's, I mean, like, there's a whole contingent of people who are, definitely from the college. And then there's...
Like her work friends, too?
Right. There's people you're assuming are probably work friends. And then, it's like about a third of the group are, like, who are these people? Kind of thing. There's some woman in an ostentatiously large black veil and hat sitting in the very back pew,
Yeah.
So
that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, who's that?
With shades on under the veil,
I can tell.
Yeah. And like kind of ivory colored skin. Very petite. Yes.
That's weird. So I'm distracted. I look back and I go to her parents.
So they're...
Because Dawn told me so much about them.
Yeah, so they both bear the masks of grief and pain.
So
red-rimmed eyes and...
So I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Amy Patterson. And Dawn was my best friend here. And I just start crying.
Yeah. So her dad actually stands up and gives you a big hug.
I hug him back, which is weird. Like,
yeah,
it feels
like,
weird.
I've never met you before.
Yeah.
And he says, Dawn mentioned you in a couple of her letters home.
Calls. I'm sure she called too.
And call, yes. He says, no, she only wrote letters. She was very old school like that. No. Dawn mentioned you many times in letters and phone calls. And you must be the Amy that she went to Lake Tahoe with.
Yeah. Yeah, we went there.
Ah, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you were able to, and he can't really finish,
So I hold his hand, I pat his hand, and I put my arm on her mom's shoulder.
Yeah. And she's just like, got this soaked tissue in her hand, All
right, so there's
this
usually
constant stream of tears.
There's usually tissues around, so I'm going to go and get her some dry ones and give them to her. And I'm going to just sit down next to her.
Okay.
And I tell her, like, I don't have to sit here if you don't want me to.
She's like, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So I'm like, so then I can see, like, I have a closer view of the coffin from sitting in the front.
Yep.
And so I can kind of see a profile sticking up out of it. It's supposed to be Dawn. It doesn't feel like her. Feels wrong. So I just sit there, and I'm holding her mom's hand, and we're just sitting there.
Okay. All right. And, in due course, the minister who's officiating the memorial surmounts the podium, and he says, thank you all for coming. This is a memorial for Dawn
Barber?
I'm trying to think what her middle name would be.
Oh.
Kathleen Barber.
Kathleen? That's horrible. Sorry for any Kathleens out there, but the middle name, it seems weird. It would be Catherine, probably.
Dawn Catherine Barber.
Kathleen.
Tragically taken from us at far too early of an age. And, her mom's like, oh.
Okay, so I'm patting her and.
So as the memorial gets underway,
So people are going up and talking.
Why don't you make a perception plus alertness roll, please? difficulty 5.
5.
5.
I don't make it.
Excellent. All right. So you don't hear the door at the back of the wee chapel of the dawn open and then pneumatically shut again, nor the creak of the back pew as somebody enters and sits down in the very back.
Yeah, so I'm consoling.
Because you're busy consoling Dawn's mother and listening to
The things
speakers
people
who
are saying.
right up front, dominating your attention. So, her dad gets up and says some words, and
Yeah. He can barely. So then that's when I'm shocked. Like, Dawn's brother, like, she never talked about her brother.
Yeah, Dawn's brother who died at a young age of whooping cough.
And, like, okay, so I have a question about that. So was he born before Dawn or after?
Before.
So maybe she didn't even know about him.
Yeah, might have been 10 years older.
Oh, shit.
Her parents do look kind of old, although they're, farmer types. That tends to age you a bit, but, hard to say.
Well,
but they were kind of older parents.
Older
for
parents.
Sure. So.
Wow. So I don't think Dawn even. So then it's like, I'm thinking, like, she didn't even know about this brother that she had.
Might not have known about it.
Yeah. So that's even more, like, how embarrassing for the parents to like in front of all these strangers, like I'm just thinking about it from their perspective, like in front of all these people they don't even know, and they're admitting these really private things and things that maybe Dawn didn't even know. And so it's blowing my mind.
It's a scandal.
I'm tripping out royally. So anyway, I'm just thinking about the enormity of the emotion and this and what this is. So he starts to break down.
Yep.
And so some folks go up there to console him and lead him back to the pew, right? So then what happens?
Police detective gets up and...
No, that police detective goes up.
Oh my God, how many times have you listened to that episode?
Not many.
Okay, not many.
But I do know that the police detective goes up after. I could swear he goes up after...
Who?
Someone.
Oh, someone. Yes, of course. So, yeah. So you're
So there's kind of a little bit of a shuffling as her father's coming back.
You stand as he comes back and, and then sit again. And as you're taking your seat, you see that someone has walked up to the podium all the way in the back.
Yeah.
And it's someone that you hadn't seen when you came in.
So it's surprising. It's like, who the hell is
this? It's like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that goofball from the pictures, Aaron. Or who you presume to be Aaron.
So this tall guy comes walking up in a really nice suit. Like, he's wearing a really fucking nice suit. Yeah. Drug dealer.
Hello.
So it's a very nice suit.
Yeah.
Black sunglasses.
Right.
It's fucking sunglasses. And he walks up. Yeah, it is him.
So at this point, I should just splice in your
eulogy.
Your eulogy in the voice of Aaron.
He basically says this whole thing of like, Dawn meant so much to me. I didn't know her very long, but everything, she was like a warm person. She was the nicest person I met. Her memory will stay with me forever. All that kind of stuff.
Right. Standard eulogy.
Standard, but I'm watching him very fucking closely,
so
like a hawk.
Another perception plus alertness roll. This time difficulty 4, actually.
Okay.
Because you're right there.
3.
So he gives us pretty standard eulogy. He seems genuinely upset. And as he is walking down from the podium, you see a trickle of what could only be blood running from his eye, like a tear. And he very quickly wipes it away and just keeps walking without breaking a stride.
And Dawn's father sees that too. And so I'm picturing both of my head and Dawn's father's head, like looking back at him, like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I kind of very semi, not probably that stealthily, I'm looking back at that, like, to see where he is.
Yeah. So he takes his seat at the back pew and
is he with that weird?
He sits down next to the weird woman with the veil who takes his hand. You know, like she stood up and he gets in the pew and then she takes his hand and they sit down. So.
So I'm just staring back there, and I probably glaring,
a little bit, yeah.
But I don't think they can see me. So
No,
they're kind of like whispering to each other.
a little bit, yeah.
I'm gonna turn back. So that's when the detective goes up,
Okay.
I think,
All right.
and talks about, you know, people like this is still like, it's kind of mysterious. We want to solve this problem, like this crime problem. We want to solve this problem, but she's a very special lady.
You know, we're living in a society.
So he goes up, and then the priest goes up and says the interment will be tomorrow morning. And
That's basically
it, really. Yeah. Okay. So I'm kind of consoling her mom, and other people are coming up to her.
Okay.
So I'm going to just kind of walk away, and I'm going to go to her coffin. But there's someone ahead of me in line. And I'm waiting. So I'm just looking at the back of his head. And I'm looking at this suit. It's a nice suit. I've seen a lot of nice suits in my day.
That's true.
So I'm like, this is a really fucking nice suit.
Yeah. It's definitely on par with a suit your dad would have.
Definitely.
One of his partners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's, and I look at the shoes too. Like, it's all nice.
He wasn't wearing cowboy boots, was he?
No.
Okay.
So what? Why would he be wearing cowboy boots?
I just had this weird recollection of that, but I'm probably thinking of something else.
You are thinking of something else. And maybe in Fresno he'll get some cowboy boots, but
Good.
not this time. I think any gang girl would have a pair of cowboy boots.
Oh, definitely.
All right. So I'm just watching him. Do I observe anything weird about him?
Why don't you make a perception plus awareness roll?
I have a 3 in awareness.
Ooh, you
Okay.
tuned in.
So, difficulty
6.
2.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're looking at his suit, and you're looking at his back.
Yeah.
And as the line is sort of shuffling forward, you realize that you're not seeing him breathing.
Like his body
His body isn't moving in a rhythmic breathing fashion. He's a very still creature. Like if he is breathing, it's very, very shallow breaths that aren't,
maybe he's
registering.
nervous. Maybe he's nervous around corpses. I don't know.
Yeah, but it definitely catches your eye.
odd.
It seems unusual.
It's uncanny.
Yes.
All right, so I give him his distance to stand there, and I watch him. I watch him looking at her.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like jealousy, like feeling angry. So I'm just watching him look at her. And then he walks away. I feel like I have to shake my head a little bit because that was weird to see him like not breathe, like not. It's like that stillness is very strange.
Yeah, it's very still. Yes.
So he walks away.
Yep.
So I watch him. I see to where he's going.
Okay.
So he's talking to that woman again, and they go outside.
Yes.
I'm going to focus on Dawn.
Okay.
So I walk up and I see her.
There she is. Black dress.
Yeah.
All made up.
Horrible. Does not look like her.
No.
Doesn't look like her.
Pancake makeup,
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Dawn. So I'm looking at her and I'm just gonna there was like this little just these little like tokens from Lake Tahoe that we would, it's like a little snow globe. It's a little. I'm going to put it in the casket with her.
Okay.
And I say, I'm going to find out who fucking did this to you. I will fucking kill them. And burn them to the ground. Like mumbling under my breath.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I will fucking find that. I will fucking find that. So I'm just like saying that. So it's mostly like to myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm crying.
Yeah.
And I don't really realize that I'm crying so much. And then I walk away and I need air. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to walk out of the chapel.
Okay. So, Mr. Gallagher,
Oh.
saw you up there at the casket. So.
Did you hear me muttering?
No, he was hanging back. But he falls in beside you as you're walking out and proffers a tissue for you.
Oh, thanks. So I blow my nose.
So you're outside now.
I'm outside just like looking at the
cool, crisp air.
I'm looking at the headstones and all of the ornate.
Yeah, that's right.
The ornateness of the cemetery, and wondering why in Southern California would we have such an ornate cemetery when.
Well, I realize in retrospect that I should have just said it had it be at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, because that legit does have crazy mausoleums and tombstones.
It really does. It really does. So,
but again,
Shrug.
World of Darkness.
It's like that World of Darkness. Okay.
Weeping angel statues.
Oh
and a bunch of shit like
so
that.
I'm just I'm looking at all of them and just looking around, just trying to like, what the fuck, man? I gotta find out who did this.
So you feel Mr. Gallagher's hand on your shoulder.
I kind of jump.
He says, "Amy,
What?
is there anything I can do for you?
I'm okay.
I know that this is a very, very trying time for you. You and Dawn were very close."
I kind of sidle away from him. Mm-hmm. And I look at him and like, I'll be fine, but thanks.
Okay. Would you like some coffee or
No,
anything to eat?
I'm not hungry. It's okay. I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I'm here for you if you need me. I just wanted to let you know. And he turns and walks away.
So my face, I'm like scrunching my face, like, ooh. Like, I don't know what that meant, but leave me alone. So I go back to just like looking at the cemetery and just like, just thinking.
All right. So, gradually other people are filtering out.
Yeah.
And, Dawn's parents are among the last
Yeah.
to come out, And, again, her dad is, comes, sees you and takes your hand. And
Yeah, and I just say, I'll see you in the morning. I'll be here. I'm so
yes,
sorry.
I don't expect we'll be getting much sleep tonight, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking with this refined accent.
Yeah,
either.
he wasn't.
I'm a Kansas farmer.
I know you didn't have him talk like that
No, I
before,
didn't.
but anyway,
It's my solemn voice.
He was a little more-
It's my solemn and earnest voice.
he was a little more rugged sounding.
Yeah. I don't expect we'll get much sleep tonight.
No, it wasn't that. What the fuck? What is that? All right. So nods, and I just hug her mom and say, just try to get some rest.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And so people are getting into cars. So there's car doors slamming, headlights turning on, engines firing up. Perception plus alertness rolls being made. Difficulty 6.
Alertness? Are you sure?
Yep. Definitely.
Oh, really? Not awareness?
Nope.
Why not?
You'll find out if you make the roll.
I make it by 1.
With 1, you mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
All right. So amidst all the cacophony of all the cars
everyone leaving.
You're pretty sure you hear some kind of commotion coming from off amongst the gravestones.
So I'm looking. Do I see anything? It's dark.
It is dark. Yeah.
The moon is kind of out.
Yeah.
But
it was just like maybe somebody was shouting briefly. There was like a shout or an exclamation. Very strange and unexpected in,
just a
in
weird
a graveyard.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's eerie.
Yeah.
All right.
And so the cars are filtering out.
So I start heading toward the car area, like the parking area.
All right.
Yeah. Car area.
The car hole. Oh, garage. Oh, la-di-da.
Duh. All right, so I'm heading, like, they have all these different little paved paths that go, like, through the cemetery, like, to,
Yes.
to the parking, like, where you can park your car. Okay. All right.
So you're heading down, and a lot of the cars have already left. There's your rabbit, your trusty rabbit.
Yeah, trusty rabbit.
So as you're walking towards it, you're still about 40 feet away or so. You see a most curious sight. You see a man running flat out, pretty fast actually, across the parking lot. His jacket flapping behind him.
Yeah.
And he actually he's running towards this black Jeep that's parked at the far end of the parking lot.
Okay.
And he actually does one of those Hollywood jump up and slide across the hood maneuvers.
What the fuck? What is it? So I look behind, like, is anyone chasing him?
So you kind of do the tennis match head swivel.
Right.
And look over and you see a woman in a black dress.
Yeah.
With like black hair streaming behind her.
Pale skin.
And pale skinned as far as you can tell in the moonlight.
It's like white.
And she's, right. Like porcelain.
He's not porcelain.
He's not, no. And she's got something in her hand that could be like a knife or a club or something.
What am I looking at right now?
And so then you look back at the Jeep. It's already fired up. The headlights have blazed to life, and then
She's
just before you even without even. Not enough time has passed, basically.
Right.
But as soon as the headlights click on, you see that she's standing in front of the Jeep.
That's impossible.
Exactly.
That's
she
fucking
covered about 40 yards in like a second.
That's impossible.
So she's standing in front of the Jeep, and there's like this split second, and then the engine revs and the Jeep, lurches forward.
Yeah.
And she just basically, with the grace of a tiger, essentially, just runs up the front of the Jeep, runs up the hood onto the roof of the Jeep as it's driving forward, and then she just leaps into the air, and with the headlights kind of in your eyes, you just lose sight of her. You have no idea where she went. And the Jeep, squeals out and makes a quick turn, and then starts driving down the serpentine driveway.
Very slowly.
Well, making sure not to roll the Jeep. And of the woman, there's no sign.
I'm scared to go to my car.
Basically. Yeah, because she
so I'm
covered...
standing all alone in the cemetery.
Basically. And you just saw this really fucked up weird
thing.
Shit. She basically covered 40 yards in an impossibly short amount of time, and then ran up the front of a moving Jeep and leapt into the air and disappeared.
Fuck. Was I close enough to get a license plate?
I'll give you a perception plus alertness, but it's going to be difficulty 9.
Oh, man. No. Impossible. Yeah, no. I don't get a number. All right. Well, I'm scared. So I'm like standing there paralyzed with fear. Like it's strange.
Yeah.
That's fucked up what I just saw.
Yeah.
Did I recognize who was running to the Jeep?
Yes.
It was Aaron.
It was Aaron.
Fuck. Motherfucking drug dealer. No. Okay. What the hell? Okay, so I'm kind of paralyzed and I'm scared, but I feel like if I stay here even longer, it'll be worse for me. So I'm just gonna run to my car, and I'm gonna get my keys out of my purse before. Actually, okay. So before I run, I'm gonna get my keys out. I'm gonna get my car key ready.
Yep.
And then I'm completely focused on my car, and I run, book it straight to my car,
Yep.
not looking at anything else, and just get in my car, turn it on, and like zoom out. Okay. Do I make it? She's in front of your vehicle.
You're attacked and killed. No, you make it. It's fine. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna. I don't think. I mean, he's long gone, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go back home. Like, I did not just see that. I don't know. I don't know what I saw. Like, what did I just see? And he was there. So I'm thinking, like, oh, he'll definitely be at the internment.
Interment, yes.
And he'll definitely be there. Definitely. So I'll see this fucker tomorrow, and I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna talk to him about it. I gotta talk to him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head home.
Yep.
And I'm going to try calling his phone number again for my dad's study.
All right. No messages on the machine in that room.
Okay.
And
I'm going to call the pager number.
Call the pager
and
number.
hang out there for like 2 hours.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, no.
Well, he obviously went to the funeral. God, that's just stuck with me. Like, that's just so eerie. Makes no sense. She was so fast. Okay. He'll definitely be there in the morning, so. All right. So, I'm going to write down everything that happened today in my journal. And I'm going to try to go to sleep.
Okay.
Get up early the next morning to go back to the cemetery.
Yep. Okay, so this is, of course, the classic graveside scene. The casket is there on the lowering mechanism, whatever it's called. Probably has a name.
It probably does.
The Johnson bar. And
We need a replacement Johnson bar. Can you order just 2 of them? 'Cause we keep using the same one over and over.
we'll put the casket on the Johnson bar, and then the Hanover release switch let go, and it just went woo, and the thing just fell right down in the hole.
Or just kept
Damnedest thing you ever saw.
It kept going up and down as we were trying to lower it, and the dad jumped on the coffin
Oh my
and
god.
kept going up and down.
It's a real scene. Yeah, so
Please tell me nobody jumps on her coffin.
No.
Okay, good. Christ.
Yeah, so basically everyone's there
Except
a certain dum-dum.
Oh.
So
Hopefully he's in the ground by now.
someone would hope.
Because he took off that night. And
He did, I know. Yeah, so we are now officially into new calendrical territory.
I know, we're in daylight too.
It's Friday the 23rd. All right. So, anyway, it's about what you would have expected from a funeral service.
Yeah.
You know, and lots of tears are shed, and you watch as the casket is lowered in
To the ground.
to the ground. And
We throw some dirt on
some
it.
dirt is thrown on, and
We walk away.
walk away in slow motion.
Okay.
Yep.
So again, I'm like reiterating my vow. Like, I'm going to find out who did this. It's horrible. So I'm pretty morose. And I go to work that day. Barely can function. It's actually a good distraction, though. So I'm looking in the papers again for any sort of just not really focusing, but just in case.
All right. Can do another intelligence plus investigation roll.
Two.
Okay. Nothing that catches your eye in terms of unusualness.
Okay.
You know,
All right. They haven't found another of the homeless
No.
people.
No. And so far, no news in the papers about, the body being found. There is actually a piece in the Pasadena Star News
Oh.
about a reclusive elderly couple, Edward and Vera Vines.
Oh. I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
And I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah. Basically their gardener, had not received his monthly check on the day it was due, and then, was not able to find them and contacted the police, and the police say they seem to have disappeared along with their valet. So
I'm going to cut it out. And I'm just going to put it in my little collection of clippings.
Clippins.
Amy's clippings.
Clippins.
So after my shift,
Yeah.
I probably have some coworkers that are friends of mine. But
Of course.
I don't really want to talk to them. They know what's going on.
Yeah. Everyone's kind of giving you your space.
Okay. So,
Where are you keeping the 8-sided mirror?
how big is it?
Like a hand mirror size.
I'm keeping it on me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to look in some of the different history books or, art books and trying to find something that looks similar to the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see if there's anything that has some resonance, but
Okay. How about intelligence plus academics?
no. I can roll one. I'm going to burn another willpower.
Can you really willpower your way into finding information in a book, though?
Yes. I've done it before and I'll do it again.
Yes. I see a 1 there.
2 ones.
Oh,
But I have 1 success.
oh man, this brings up an interesting rules conundrum. My goodness. My goodness gracious. Bless my collar buttons all day long.
But I bet I had 1 success. It's not like I rolled
True.
3 ones.
But there's some interesting conflicts here.
Are there?
Well, normally that would be a botch. So does spending a willpower point offset a botch? Also, do you get that success even if you roll a botch? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just let's see here.
Just some things you want to look into.
Take the dice occasionally. Botch. Worse. Automatic success. No, not that kind of automatic success. All right, let's see about willpower. Willpower. Spending. 266, 267. Okay, let's see what that has to say. Okay. So you can gain an automatic success. Success is guaranteed and may not be canceled even by botches. Well, there we go.
Meow meow.
So it doesn't say it explicitly, but that would seem to indicate that would negate a botch.
No, I don't think that says that at all.
Well, you can't succeed and botch at the same time.
Oh, I guess you're right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 1 success. Ha ha.
Botches are so much more fun, though. All right,
Well,
so...
I don't want it to derail my whole character and be like, this mirror means nothing. I'm going to break it. Who gives a fuck? That's like a botch.
You take down a likely-looking book, and it catches on fire in your hands.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No. And this, it's too early for that level of fucked up.
Fine.
What were you going
All
to
right.
do?
I have no idea.
Say that there's absolutely no meaning to this mirror and go sell it at a yard sale and No.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Anyway,
No,
so...
it wouldn't, actually. It'd be depressing.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so, well, you got one success from your willpower. So,
Yes, all right, yes.
so basically what you find is a big, thick book of, like, Chinese antiques. Mm-hmm. And you find a section that has, like, some black and white photos of various things. And there's, like, an 8-sided mirror. And it says that it is from the Shang dynasty. Shang.
That's kind of like in my scrolls.
Yes, it is.
Huh. All right. Mm-hmm. All right, I got to go back and read those scrolls a little more in depth, I think. All right.
And so, you took the mirror out to compare it against the photo, of course. Mm-hmm. And as you're getting ready to pack up, the mirror sort of catches your eye.
Yeah.
And you see something that's not your reflection.
Again.
That's in the mirror.
Because Gigi, I saw Gigi last time.
Exactly.
What's in there?
This time it's not another person's face. It's a location. It's a place. It's what looks like an old mansion on a hill.
On a hill.
Mm-hmm. Overgrown.
Yeah.
Maybe abandoned.
Like my dream.
Exactly.
So I'm just staring at it. And
And as you're staring at it, you realize that you're now looking at your own face in the mirror.
I'm going to look away. Where's this mansion? There's so many old mansions in this town.
This town's lousy with mansions.
But,
And so, yeah, I think we'll leave it off there, actually.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, if they're okay with that.
Yeah.
It's a short session, but
yeah, no, it's
establishing.
fine. Yeah, we're just establishing the world and
Exactly.
who is who
and some mysteries. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mansion.
So you got some things to think about.
I do.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure. Any final thoughts?
Nope. It's all a mystery.
All right. Well, I got to give you experience points then.
Oh, okay.
Doi. Forgot already. Did you?
I did. That's not why I play.
You're above that sort of thing. You're above that sordid business, eh?
Yep.
Alrighty. So you get 1 point for showing up. Thank you.
Good. Yay.
All right. What did you learn?
What did I learn? I learned my mom still won't give up her Danielle Steele novels. And
Even though she hates them.
Even though she hates them, she always says, "I God, I hate this book," and then she finishes them.
I'm probably not going to finish it.
And she always does. She always does. I learned that there might be a connection between the homeless, that people are being, their blood's being taken away in a weird way.
Yep.
I learned that. I learned about what was in the scrolls a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And also I learned more about my mirror and what's in it. And what have I learned? I got to see Aaron for the first time and was very weirded out by that whole experience.
You have a sort of a multiple levels of evidence. You have photograph, you have phone number, and visual confirmation
that he exists. Yep. But in what way? I learned that he has a very uncanny presence. It didn't seem like he was breathing, which is odd. And then he did a Hollywood stunt roll over his Jeep and drove away.
Yeah, and speaking of uncanny presences,
there was a woman
who
was after him, who was just as pale as porcelain, and just going after him, and then jumped onto his Jeep. I mean, I just saw a lot of strange things.
You saw a lot of uncanny shit.
Uncanny weirdness.
Bodies drained of blood, people walking around without breathing, people covering more ground than is humanly possible, and
possible,
disappearing into the dark night sky.
Yeah. And then Mr. Gallagher is weird.
Yes, you also learned that. So this is all basically this session is what they refer to in the Hunters Hunted as the instigating incident.
Yep.
So you've seen enough creepy shit
To know that there's some creepy shit out
something's
there.
up.
Yeah, and I need to get to the bottom of it.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, and you get a point for role playing, of course, because you.
Wait, what have I learned? Is that part of?
That's 1, 2, and then 3 is role playing, which definitely.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely. So you get 3 points.
That's it?
That's it. I thought that wasn't why you played. You point scrubber.
No. No, I never grub for points. In fact, I'm asking you to take points away from me sometimes. So.
Yeah, right. Anyways. All right. Well, that's that then.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And we'll see where this goes.
We sure will.